This is the third part of the Insidious series, which explores a story that took place before the haunting of the Lambert family. At the beginning of the movie, we see a girl named Quinn searching for Elise. She visits Elise's house and expresses her admiration for her work. However, Elise declines to help, stating that she no longer conducts paranormal investigations due to her busy life. Quinn insists, prompting Elise to invite her inside. Elise asks Quinn why she has come to see her. Quinn explains that she wants to communicate with her late mother, Lily, who passed away due to cancer. She believes her mother has been trying to reach out to her, but she hasn't been able to make contact, which is why she seeks Elise's help. Understanding Quinn's pain, Elise agrees to assist her. She attempts to contact Lily but suddenly senses a dark presence. Overcome with fear, Elise stops the session and warns Quinn never to try reaching out to her mother again. She explains that in doing so, Quinn might unknowingly invite a sinister spirit into her life. One night, while Quinn is asleep in her room, she feels as if someone is trying to talk to her. When she listens carefully, she hears strange, eerie whispers. The next morning, she prepares breakfast and takes a photo for her blog. Her father Sean notices and asks her to wake up her younger brother, Alex, for school. However, when Quinn goes to his room, Alex rudely tells her to leave. Later, Quinn focuses on preparing for her audition. Meanwhile, Sean gets frustrated with Alex for not getting ready and asks Quinn to help him. On her way out, Quinn meets her neighbor, Hector, and the two have a casual conversation. Quinn arrives at her audition, feeling nervous. Suddenly, she notices a strange man waving at her, but she has no idea who he is. During the audition, her anxiety gets the best of her, causing her to forget some of her lines. Later, she sits with her friend, sharing her frustrations about her life and how she doesn't get along with her father. She also mentions how important this audition is for her future. Once again, she spots the same mysterious man waving at her. Before she can react, she meets with a terrible accident. Severely injured, she is rushed to the hospital. Quinn finds herself trapped in the further, a dark and empty place. Suddenly, the same mysterious man appears before her, wearing an oxygen mask. Before she can react, she regains consciousness. 3 weeks later, Quinn has recovered but is confined to a wheelchair due to her fractured legs. A neighbor warns her about a strange figure, a man who can't breathe who was calling her name and was in her room the previous night. This leaves Quinn unsettled. As she returns home, her family welcomes her, but she can't shake the eerie feeling as she glances toward her room. Sean helps Quinn onto her bed and gives her some books, chocolates, and a bell so she can call him if she needs help. Later that night, as Quinn sleeps, the same mysterious man slowly approaches her bed. Suddenly, the bell starts ringing on its own, waking her up. Sean hears the sound and rushes to her room, but Quinn assures him that everything is fine, though she remains deeply unsettled. Elise finishes dinner and goes to bed, holding her late husband Jack's sweater for comfort. In the middle of the night, she wakes up in fear, sensing a presence in her room. Disturbed, she writes, "Quinn Brenner," in her notebook. Meanwhile, Quinn knocks on the wall to chat with her neighbor Hector, and he knocks back. She texts Hector, but he said he is not home. Uneasy, she knocks once more but gets no response. As she prepares to sleep, a ghostly hand reaches toward her, and a crack suddenly appears on the ceiling. Hearing the commotion, Sean checks the upstairs room but he found that house is empty. Sean notices bloodied footprints in the upstairs room but can't make sense of them. Meanwhile, Quinn tells Sean that something strange is happening in the house and insists on meeting Elise, believing her late mother is trying to communicate with her. However, Sean disagrees, leading to a heated argument between them. Elise stares at her locked reading room, contemplating her decision. Determined, she finally resolves to help Quinn. Elise tries to contact Lily but instead senses a demonic presence in the house. She notices the same bloodied footprints and realizes her reading room is mysteriously unlocked. Grabbing a flashlight, she follows the footprints, only to be confronted by the demon, leaving her terrified. Meanwhile, Quinn is on a video call with her friend, who suddenly asks why Alex is standing beside her. Confused, Quinn looks around, but the call abruptly disconnects. She then notices the oxygen-masked demon near the window, approaching her. Panicked, she looks under her bed, only to be violently pulled down by the entity. The demon locks the room from the inside and tries to harm her. Quinn screams for help, and Sean rushes in to find her on the floor, crying in fear. Quinn tells Sean that a demon with a breathing mask pushed her down, but he reassures her that no one was there. Worried, Sean confides in his neighbor Harry, who is grieving his wife's death. Meanwhile, Quinn continues to feel an evil presence around her. One night, she finds herself mysteriously wheeled out of her room. As she hears heavy breathing behind her, that oxygen-masked demon suddenly pushes her wheelchair into room 514. There, she sees a faceless girl without legs and hands resembling her, angrily approaching. Terrified, Quinn screams for help. Sean rushes in and finds her in distress. He notices the same bloody footprints and checks the window, realizing someone had once jumped to their death from there. When Quinn looks closer, the demon suddenly appears, trying to pull her down, but Sean manages to save her just in time. Sean visits Elise and pleads for help, explaining that something is trying to kill Quinn. Elise admits she had attempted to contact the spirit but sensed a dark entity attached to Quinn, preventing the connection. She reveals that she lost her own husband last year and tried to reach him in the spirit world known as the Further, a realm filled with both good and evil souls. However, during her journey, she encountered a malevolent spirit that has been trying to kill her ever since. Despite her fears, Sean urges Elise to help save Quinn. Elise visits Quinn and shares a vision she had, Quinn trapped in darkness, standing before a man who struggles to breathe. Quinn, terrified, insists she doesn't want to die. Elise reassures her, promising that nothing will happen to her. Elise contacts the demonic entity and finds herself in a dark room, realizing she has entered the astral world. Holding a lamp, she moves forward and encounters a crying girl. When Elise asks about the man who can't breathe, she sees a spirit nearby. She takes an elevator and enters a house where a girl on the couch eerily smiles and points the way. Suddenly, the bride in black, wearing red lipstick, attacks her. Elise barely escapes and returns to the real world. Elise, shaken and terrified, insists that the same woman wants to kill her and leaves. Meanwhile, Sean seeks help from paranormal investigators Specs and Tucker, who set up a camera on Quinn's forehead and ensure her activity will get monitored while she sleeps. Elise meets Carl and shows him childhood photos of Josh, revealing that the entity trying to kill her is the same one connected to him. Overcome with fear, Elise believes her death is inevitable, but Carl reassures her, reminding her of her God-gifted ability to help people, just as she once helped Josh. Quinn suddenly gets up, and Tucker monitors her closely. Specs investigates with a flashlight and notices strange footage coming from the closet, but it's just the camera. Suddenly, Quinn appears behind Tucker and violently attacks everyone. She slams her injured leg on the bed, breaking off her cast, fully possessed by the dark entity. Terrified, the group watches as she grabs a knife to harm herself, but Sean intervenes just in time, restraining her with ropes. As Specs and Tucker panic and try to escape, Elise arrives, determined to help Quinn. Elise explains that some spirits want to take control of a living person to escape the Further, while others trap souls in darkness to keep them there. She reveals that the demon possessing Quinn has locked her soul in darkness, and the only way to free her is for Quinn to fight back. Elise devises a plan and, along with Sean, Specs, and Tucker, holds hands to enter the Further. Inside the Further, Elise carries a lamp and asks a woman for directions. She leads her to an elevator, saying she was once the demon's pet but has been replaced by Quinn. Elise realizes Quinn is now the demon's captive. She touches a doorknob and finds blood on her hand. Inside, she sees a figure sitting on a bed. Suddenly Black Bride attacks her but Carl reminds her of her strength, and Elise overpowers it. As the Black Bride disappears in fear, Elise is shocked to see her late husband, Jack. Overjoyed, Elise approaches Jack, having long searched for him in the afterlife. However, Jack eerily urges her to join him by taking her own life so they can be together forever. Realizing it's a trick, Elise smashes his face with knife, revealing it was same man who can't breath. Suddenly, the oxygen mask-wearing demon appears, showing that Quinn has become its servant. Elise grabs Quinn and attempts to flee, but the demon blocks their way. As they struggle to escape, it forcefully shoves Elise aside and reclaims Quinn. In the real world, everyone holds Quinn's hand, urging her to come back. However, the demon refuses to release her, pulling her deeper into the darkness. Elise senses a presence trying to communicate with her, offering guidance. Sean reveals that Grace had passed away just 2 days ago, yet her spirit now seeks to help Quinn and Elise. Grace conveys that there is a letter in Quinn's diary, one written by her late mother, Lily. With this revelation, they attempt to reach out to Lily's spirit. As they concentrate, a comforting presence surrounds Quinn. She hears her mother's voice softly speaking to her, offering reassurance. In a moment of deep connection, Lily's spirit firmly holds Quinn's hand, just like the others supporting her. This newfound strength awakens Quinn, and she instinctively removes the breathing device from the entity that had been haunting her. Deprived of its source of power, the entity begins to weaken, struggling for air until it finally fades away. Back in the real world, Quinn regains consciousness, safe and free from the entity's grasp. Elise smiles and assures everyone that Lily's presence remains with them. She shares Lily's final message, how proud she is of Quinn and that she had always been by her side, even during important moments like her audition. With a warm and reassuring presence, Lily reminds Quinn that no matter what happens, a mother's love never fades, and she will always be there, watching over her. In the end, Quinn fully recovers, and Elise expresses her gratitude to Specs and Tucker for their support. Elise lovingly pets her dog, feeling a sense of calm. As she does, she notices Jack's sweater lying on the bed, bringing back memories of her late husband. However, her peace is interrupted when her dog begins barking erratically. Elise, concerned, looks around and sees a faint, shadowy face appear. Before she can react, a red-faced demon materializes behind her, signaling that the danger may not be over yet. Don't forget to check out Insidious Part 1 and 2 recap video. If you like our work, please make sure to subscribe our channel for more amazing content.